The 2017 budget is scheduled for final approval Monday, September 26th, starting at 5 p.m. A large crowd is expected, so arrive early if you plan to attend. The meeting will also be streamed online and through WNIN. This is my first time going through the budget process, but here's what I expect to happen Monday. The administration will present its proposed changes to the original budget. Then council leadership will propose its amendments, and finally, the floor will be open to amendments by other council members. After each amendment has been voted on, we will vote on the total budget as amended. Most of the administration's proposed changes are corrections based on new information or items that were accidentally included or left out. After the administration changes, 2 cuts will be proposed by council leadership. One is to reduce the grants the city gives to local nonprofit organizations, such as Aurora and local museums, by 25% or $58,000, excluding United Neighborhoods of Evansville and I-69 BridgeLink. I will oppose this amendment as many of these nonprofits are still recovering from the 50% cut last year. As a compromise, I will support up to a 10% cut with a clear expectation for nonprofits to expect a 25% cut for 2018. The second amendment that will be proposed by council leadership would force the city to pay the $2.9 million for computer services from riverboat funds. Computer services is an ongoing expense that we know will increase each year. A 1996 City Council resolution urges local government to restrict the use of riverboat funds to one-time or special projects, never operating. I agree with this sound fiscal policy and plan to oppose this amendment. City Council can typically only cut items from the budget. However, council leadership has worked with the administration to agree on some additions. These important items include baiting our sewers for rodent control and increased parks and zoo maintenance. Once both the administration and council leadership's changes have been considered, the floor will be open to other amendments. If the council votes against using riverboat funds for computer services, I plan to propose an amendment that has a similar impact, less pressure on our income tax dollars that have the most flexible use, and more use of riverboat funds specifically for one-time or special expenses. There is approximately $865,000 of these expenses not funded through riverboat funds in the budget. I propose cutting current funding source with the expectation that the administration would pay for these one-time or special expenses from riverboat funds. I will also propose to cut the 1% raise for all city employees, except for sworn police officers who are under contract. City employees are important to delivering quality city services. If the budget environment was different, we would pay them more. However, I will not support a 1% raise when there are solutions that would cost the city less and have a larger positive impact on employees. I urge the administration to make a one-time contribution of $500 into a health savings account for each employee who selects the high-deductible health plan, which is about the same cost as a 1% raise. Consider this. A $100 raise for a city employee would cost the city more than $118, but the employee would only get about $85. A contribution of $100 by the city into a health savings account would cost the city $100, and the employee would also get $100 to use toward their deductible or health care costs. I also plan to propose cutting Penguin exhibit design funding in half. The entire $5 million project has been announced as a 50-50 public-private partnership. This project should be a 50-50 partnership from the first dollar to the last dollar. The city is not in a financial position to contribute 100% of the first $660,000. There are 2 items for which I will continue to request additional funding: sidewalk repair and the ADA compliance curb cut project. These capital budgets were reduced by $150,000 compared to this year. At the current spending rate, the city engineer believes it will take another 12 to 15 years to finish the ADA compliance project. I consistently receive concerns about sidewalk repair, and the city engineer has a waiting list of requests. Since the council cannot make additions, I will again be urging the administration to increase these line items in the budget. My proposals result in a balanced budget with a $1.3 million surplus specifically in the local income tax fund. I would urge the administration to use these funds to balance the budgeted 2017 deficits in the general fund and health insurance fund, and to pay down a portion of unpaid health insurance claims from this year that we expect to carry over and pay in 2017. Amendments being considered by other council members include cutting broadcasting fees, which means council meetings would no longer be shown on WNIN, cutting pay for certain appointed boards, reducing youth sports and leadership grants, and cutting the entire budgeted amount for the Penguin exhibit design. Also, a resolution has been filed to urge the administration to fund a $30,000 expense for additional fire department lieutenants that firefighters say would improve team cohesion and public safety. Keep in mind that council members may also propose amendments on the floor at Monday's meeting. Late Friday afternoon, we received an email announcing further changes to the city's health insurance plans that reflected a partial shift of costs back to the city to mitigate the drastic proposed changes. I have not received updated cost information yet, so those figures are not included in the above discussion. If you are still listening, thank you for caring about our city. The city's budget is large and complex, and I hope this has helped you understand proposed changes. If you have questions or comments, as always, please email me at ahargis@evansville.in.gov. Please share this video and help us educate more people about the city's budget process.